Hey, Monday night's an open mic night. Whatever the heck you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about. That's the beautiful thing about being in the chat on an England stream. Everybody's invited. Plus, I truly have nothing to talk about today. There's a lot of bullcrap going around. We'll mention that. I did think of a stupid title that I thought might draw people in, which maybe I could pull something out of my ass about, which was comic books were broke before they went woke, and I can actually talk about that. Not so much about the fact that they lost money, about how they lost their way even beforehand. One thing me and Eric Breen have even talked about is I don't think we've seen Captain America since he got shot in the head after Civil War. That's one way, and there are many, many, many other ways as well. Also, we'll talk about what's going on this week. And once again, anything you guys want to talk about, anything you thought of, I'm going to bring up what I did last week, too, because I thought it was kind of fun checking out the top 10 videos, what you guys are watching, and tell you what's coming out. But LK brought something up that I thought, okay, let's address this first. Did you actually believe they were going to hire Mila Kunis to play the Thing? Did anybody buy into that bullshit?
Only if it was animated.
They were talking about live action. And when I saw it, I was like, well,
no.
This is where I think I'm losing my edge. Because I know a lot of people grabbed on, oh my gosh, Marvel is dead. Marvel lost their way. Mila Kunis is going to be the Thing. That's bull.
No, wait. There's one way they could actually happen. If she was She-Thing.
Yeah, there is an actual, what was her name? Sharon something or other?
I forget who she was. But
yeah, that's why, Eric, you need to come in here. What are you doing in the
she's a
in the
She-Thing.
freaking chat?
I remember there's a She-Thing. I just don't know all the details.
Yeah. But immediately as I saw it, I said, well, that's somebody just making shit up. And then they started other rumors, and so far nothing has been confirmed. Anybody who says they have the inside track is bullshitting you to the end of the earth here. It's a load of crap.
Eric dropped 411. It's Sharon Ventura.
Sharon Ventura. I knew it was Sharon something.
Yeah. Well,
and then related to Ace.
Yeah. No, I was
going to say go one at a time.
No, there was also the one that also had the, I'll say, Thing suit as well.
That was Ben Grimm when he was made into.
No, there was a woman, I forget which run of Fantastic Four it was, but she had some kind of suit and it kind of made her into a female Thing.
Oh, well, there you go. Margot Robbie's going to play Sue Storm. All of it's just rumor. And it works. And look, I guess I'm the dumb one because if I had, oh my gosh, Marvel sucks. They're going to put, if I made a video about that, I would have gotten the views for that as well as whatever. But I guess that's where I'm losing my touch because I just looked at it and went, well, that's bullshit. And I moved on. And then I was actually surprised to see anybody going off. But I realized, okay, they're just playing to the algorithm. That's all it is. They're playing to the crowd that wants to hear that Marvel sucks forever and ever and ever, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I don't know. It's sometimes, I got to tell you something. Sometimes it seems as if it's the same side of the coin we're fighting. You know, we say, oh, they're woke and they're SJW, blah, blah, blah. But then you got on our side, you got people who are acting exactly like the other side, but they're doing it for the opinions and such that we usually back.
Yeah, like for example, they see a female lead in a movie, they go, "Oh my god, that movie's woke automatically."
Right.
I will just say that winning is inevitable.
Did I hear you say Woody is inedible?
Wait, winning is inevitable.
Winning is inevitable. Okay, I'm gonna go with Woody is inedible.
I understand Darkseid.
I like to think that maybe Flintstones vitamins now have Toy Story vitamins now. Filled with pot. What about the 60s cartoon where goofy teenager that turned into thing?
That was still
Teen Ring, do your thing. That was 80s, by the way.
But it was still Ben Grimm.
Yeah, it was still Ben Grimm, and he had a ring, and every time he had two rings, and when he brought them together, they spelled out thing. So he would go thing ring, do your thing, and he would become the Thing. It was the silliest. I loved it.
It was great.
I never missed it. I never missed it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the same time, remember though that the MCU is getting further and further away from the source material all the time. So I can understand where people would run with it and believe it because, well, let's be honest, it's no worse than a lot of the other things they've done recently.
Well, that's where I think what Maranya was saying, it could be Sharon
Ventura.
Vitriola.
Ventura.
Yeah, 6 of 1. All
Hello,
Italians
MK.
have weird names.
Yes.
Right,
I am
Maranya?
impersonating you.
What did you say?
I am impersonating MK.
Yes, you
Yeah,
are.
I know, right? MK's voice is lower, though.
Not much.
I know.
I can't talk any deeper than this.
Yeah, I think it's funny that your sound thing makes you sound like MK. MK comes on, and it's, if you have water on your desk, it turns all Jurassic Park on you, you know?
Start to, yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
Let's see. But anti-SJWs, they sometimes do act. I mean, it's like I'd say it. It's like a shopping cart that just goes in the same direction no matter what.
Or chasing ghosts.
Also, speaking of Jurassic Park, where's Breen?
I don't know. I sent him the link. I don't know. What do we do to
He's
Eric
watching
that makes him
Monday
not
Night
come on in?
Raw.
He's watching what?
Monday Night Raw.
No, he's not. He's not watching two guys in bathing suits roll around freaking oiled up. No. I'm
Actually,
sorry.
he was doing that earlier himself.
See, doing I could believe. Watching I cannot. All right.
Gotta use the good.
You believe he can wrestle someone at this age?
Wow, he kind of just laid there.
God, we're making it sound really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
At most, the other guy was the Grim Reaper.
Grim Reaper's like, I don't get paid enough for this shit.
Definitely don't get paid enough for this.
Oh, goody goody.
Oh, you already put in the chat that he's working and flipping off the black cat.
And Eric, this is for you.
Yeah, I told you he wasn't watching half-naked guys roll around and all oiled up.
If I may just say that's for Eric. Eats hot death, evil black cat.
There you go.
All righty. And that is the way we're going tonight.
Just for that, I'm messing with your AT&T subscription.
That's evil, and I'm dark side.
I already put in the chat that I'm working and flipping. Okay, there you go. All right. Breen knows the ancient martial arts from that ad in the old comics. Oh, what was that guy's name? The guy with the big afro?
Well, I know the big afro, but it was oh crap. Well, I want to say Jack LaLanne, but that's not right.
No, Jack LaLanne was the guy. Yeah.
To be fair, when they say that wrestling is gay, none of the guys wrestle the women. It's always guy and guy or girl and girl.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm specifically trying to think of the old comic book ads that that showed off the puny guy getting the sand kicked in his face, and then
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
yeah, or I'm thinking Gold Jim, but that's not right. But got it.
No.
Come on, Breen, help us out because I know you remember.
Oh,
those
and by the
ads.
way, Eric, I already do. He's saying, I promise you, we're all going to come to despise Frugal for giving Venkman this new toy. It's like it's like giving your kid a whistle.
It was great last night, though.
Yeah. I already do. I mean, it's
How many sounds do you have programmed into that thing?
Couple. I can do this.
Yeah, no, I don't need an example. I just if you have a number or something. I love playing Guess the Avatar. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That means
I'm trying to figure out
we're winning.
who we are. Basically, no names up or up.
I have 12 plus 3 of them voices. 3 of them.
Okay. What do we got? Breen, at least I can understand him. All right. So what can we talk about today? Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of good news to talk about.
Okay. Well, I can bring up some good news here.
Well, I do have some stuff, but go on ahead. What's up?
Yeah. Well, possibly again, of course, rumors, so take it with a giant grain of salt. But I mean,
Okay.
at least part of it seems to be known. But I guess in circles that Kevin Feige is, privately telling people that, he's kind of learned the lesson here, and they're going out and hiring expensive, talented, established writers for the upcoming, various Marvel properties and movies. So I'm not sure if you heard, over the weekend or whatever, that they hired one of the guys who was behind the HBO show True Detective, basically to do a complete rewrite on the Blade movie.
Okay.
And then supposedly Josh Friedman, who was behind the Sarah Chronicles, actually has the story credit for, I think it's the second Avatar movie. Also was a developer and story creator for Snowpiercer. That's not too bad. That's on TNT. So he's got some, genre credits. He also wrote or did the screenplay for the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds movie.
Okay.
He is supposedly been signed on to be the writer for Fantastic Four. And let's see. And also, I think you said you saw Beef, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The creator for that, Lee
Okay.
Sun-jin, is been hired to write a product or a project.
And that was pretty good, as a matter of fact. I liked Beef.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll be able to fix some things. I think there's a huge problem. There's a huge Kang problem that they need to address, though. They had him first beaten by female Loki, and then they had him beaten by Ant-Man. So they kind of just took all of the wind out of the Kang is an awesome opponent sales. If you look what they did with Thanos, they showed him a couple of times, and instead of Thanos getting involved in the battle, he sent Loki with a whole bunch of aliens, Chitauri, and then he sent Ronan. And then after a while, it's like, oh, if you got to do something yourself. And he went out and he got his Infinity Gems. But it was built up. So by the time Thanos shows up, we're like, oh, shit. And then the first thing out the gate he does is kill Loki and beat the shit out of the Hulk. So they're building this big suspense. By the time we saw Thanos, he personally did not have 2 L's. But we just saw supposedly the Conqueror, the guy who was supposed to be the, oh my gosh, he's the evil big badass. We just watched Ant-Man punch him into a microverse. So they've got to do something. If they're going to continue with Kang, they got to do something to show us that Kang's a threat. Because so far they shown us he's jack shit. And as they say, Jack left town.
If they're going to continue with this Kang because of,
if I were them, yeah, it's time to I think don't bother recasting, don't bother doing. You had Kang in 2 things. Have a good day. Find a new villain. Go in a different direction. That would be what I would do. Korvac. You want to do a saga? Bring in the Korvac saga. Bring in Galactus. Galactus would be awesome. Everybody wants Galactus.
Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom would be good. I would say you bring him for the Fantastic Four, but for Avengers, let's see Galactus. Well, I know Galactus first appeared in Fantastic Four. Yeah.
Graviton.
But that would be awesome. I would love to see Graviton as a villain.
Hear about Brendan Fraser being rumored to play the Sentry.
I don't.
Ooh,
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. But at this point, it's rumors. And after the Mia Kunis one, I think, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put the rumors to bed.
I think
Also, with Ash, keep the Kang story. If you can't even finish that, you should quit.
It's done.
No, they got Captain America: New World Order.
Now you got beat by Lady Loki.
A Kang did.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
because she's the bestest ever, of course. I mean, nobody could possibly stand up to her.
but how they if they're going to keep Kang, they need to make him a threat, because right now he isn't.
Well, that's only one Kang. There's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And he's being reintroduced into the Captain America New World Order, which a handful of people might watch it, but at this point, I don't think a lot of people are going to go out and be like, "Oh, let's go watch a new Avengers stuff" with nobody in there from the Avengers.
Hey, Captain Marvel's going to be a man. Nobody wants to see her in anything.
Well, honestly, I'm going in to see it for everyone.
Mhm.
The two girls, but Brie Larson.
Yeah, well, I would watch it because of Ms. Marvel. I think she's
And-
really fun.
And
I don't
depends.
hate Brie Larson. I just think that for that movie, she was miscast. Hopefully, they fix that with the script for the Marvels.
Like, is it going to be a different director for this one?
I don't know.
I would hope so, because that can only improve it.
No, I believe it's Nia DaCosta.
I don't know the
Nia
name, so
DaCosta?
I have it to say one or not.
The porn star?
Oh, let's see. And I'll take no.
Really? I need to start.
The 1980s porn star?
I need to go Google that for science.
Sure you do. Sure you do. But if they want to go with the Kang
What's it?
storyline,
Say again, Maranya?
I was gonna say if they go with the Kang storyline, what they could do is what they were supposed to be doing with Mordo at the end of Doctor Strange. Remember, he said,
Yeah,
No, "No more mages." Then he was starting to take them down. What could be happening is someone is taking, a force of some kind, using Lady Loki, using Ant-Man, is taking down all the rogue Kangs, and there's going to be only one left.
Yeah.
That would work.
Honestly, all I want is a Clone Saga now for Spider-Man. Let's ramp it up.
No.
Is a live action movie?
Yep.
If they can just get rid of all the fluff and just stick to a good story, like if you tell the Clone Saga from the 70s, okay. If you tell the Clone Saga from the 90s, no.
There's already rumors that are talking about for the next Spider-Man movie. He's already back with MJ, and she knows the secret again.
Okay.
Which would be dumb. I'd rather have at least wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Let him build up.
It's rumored because Tom Holland says he's taking like an extended break.
Yeah, I
we'll
can see that.
Look at the other Tom Holland, the director of Fright Night. He can play the role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what they should do is put all the Spider-Man movies on Disney Plus.
Honestly, I would do another one with Toby because still a draw for him, and do another Amazing Spider-Man.
They do have the Tom Holland one, not Tom Holland,
and then
Tobey Maguire ones.
Yeah.
After this Spider-Verse thing, do a live-action Marvel Miles. If you want to.
Yeah.
So Sony needs their own Spider-Man, and just use Miles.
Oh my gosh! Did y'all see that? I don't know if what your guys' comic shop has this, but the first appearance of the Spot, the one that I sold like 4 of them for $10 each.
Yeah. What's that for now?
The comic shop that by me has it for $50 now.
Yeah.
So congratulations on anyone who got those. Awesome.
Well,
hey, I got my money. That I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I
was
was
just gonna
talking
say, you
to.
better sell them now.
I was talking to Roland. Oh shoot! I was talking to Mr. Science. What was that? No, Dr. Silver Age. I was talking to Dr. Silver Age, and he was very excited about that Flash that I had in the office.
Rod's a cool dude.
Yeah,
My shop. I wasn't.
but he was saying, because this is the one. I told him, I said, dude, I was this close to yanking it. And he goes, I know, that's why I put my bid in. And he says, I can't believe you had it at such a low price. And I said, well, look, obviously, if I put it up for 50, I got it for less. So it's okay.
Dude,
so I'm okay with like stuff going up. Sometimes though, like if it goes up a week after, I'm like, oh, I should have held on to it. What were you saying, Bank? Sorry.
I was trying to say that at my comic book shop today, I was within breathing distance of a $6,000 comic book, Hulk 181. I've never been that close to a book that value before.
How much was it?
6,000.
6,000.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And
My
the value
comic
went
shop.
down.
I took a picture and actually sent it to you guys. My comic shop had the first. The Silver Age, the first Silver Age Superman. I think it's first appearance of Brainiac too.
It was just really crazy because
$12,000.
looking at that book, and I realized that's Eric Green. He's a celebrity.
There you go. I think I've had 3 of those, 3 of the first appearance of Wolverines in my lifetime. All of them before 1995.
Yeah. 6,000, and then I guess Amazing Spider-Man #1 is up to 200,000.
Something like that.
At that point, give me the $4 rep.
Right now has the first appearance of Legion of Superheroes for $4,000. And I'm telling Gail, I know you want to move to Indiana, but we will find a house we can afford before we find another first appearance of the Legion of Superheroes. She didn't buy it. She wouldn't go for it.
Yeah, I'm at that point where it's like $200,000, or I can go to a down payment on my home or whatever. But buying a comic book for that much amount of money, just give me the True Believers. I'll pay $1.
If I won the Powerball, where you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, I could see myself. Yeah, I could see myself. First of all, I'll tell you what. I already had this planned out because Gail and I had this conversation. She goes, "What would you do if we won the Powerball?" I said, first thing I would do, like, obviously not anything big, because of course you would buy a house, do all that kind of stuff. I said, once you get past the stuff that everybody would do, I said, what I would do is I would make sure that I could find Maranya and Iron Man #1. I would find a first appearance of the Black Widow for Venkman, and that Silver Surfer issue #3 with Thor and
Surfer,
make sure everybody got their dream books.
No first appearance of Luke Cage for
you already
Zach.
messed up there.
Evil Black Cat, I can't hear you.
No first appearance of Luke Cage for Zach.
Oh, yes. No, Zach, I would find the very last appearance of the JSA and All-Stars.
Yeah, I was saying what you should do is first move, then change your phone number so that way your family can't ask for handouts.
Oh, yeah, that's part of it. But then what I was going to do is find key books and just put them in random envelopes. We would have a last blowout auction where everything starts at $1, and it would be the wall books. I mean, we're talking about hundreds of. If you're talking about $100 million, I would do something like that as kind of a thank you to everybody with the. For taking care of the family through the auctions.
I won the lottery, I'd buy myself some gator jerky, and I'd get Maranya a crate as well.
Thank you.
I'm on the other side of damn town. Do you know how bad the traffic is passing by Disney?
Really?
It's a rough part of town. They look at you and they ask you for money.
I have no air conditioning in my car. I don't know. I'll use all the
windows open.
I do drive with the windows open. Come down to Florida, okay? Come down.
I've been down to Florida in June.
I'll drive you around, and then you'll be like, bullshit. Let's rent a car with air conditioning.
No, I've been in there in June and July, and I know how it is.
No,
In Miami.
Just go during the down months where it's like 60 degrees out there.
Detective 27 shines my shoes. I'll buy that $200,000 comic from you for $30. Yeah, well, it wouldn't be like that. I'm not dumb, but it would be nice to be able to do something like that. Make sure that there's everyone's taken care of. Then, by the way, I told Gail what I would like to do is I want to build the Bates Motel, and I want to live in the main house behind it, and then when we have company over, every room would be like a full apartment in the hotel. If we ever have when we have family reunions, or if people want to get together, they've got an entire place to take care of. My wife Gail, she said, no fucking way we're ever going to be living in the Psycho house. And I said, well, you know what? I love you.
Hey, 29 years, you listen to her.
Yeah, I saw that.
Psycho House, Maranya. That's my dream.
Wasn't the guy who did Fright Night? Didn't he also direct Psycho 2?
Did he?
I don't know. I forgot what it was, but I saw on Instagram somebody
Tom
posted.
Holland did Fright Night.
Yeah,
but Psycho 2 was a great one.
Whoever it was, I saw on the internet, and they showed for that Psycho 2 movie. They only did the front part of the house. The back part had no walls. So they
actually. I told Gail also this is another idea for my dream home. It would have to be built. but I would want a kind of an office. It's a guy place, but the recording studio for this, because I wouldn't stop doing this. The recording studio has to be accessed by a pole I could slide down that I could lift the freaking Shakespeare head. And when I get down there, though, one part of the room, I want it to look like the Nautilus from Disney's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And on occasion, the squid arms grab onto it, and it looks out into the pool.
I like what you know about the.
Tell me that ain't a badass idea for a.
I like what you said about the fire pole sliding down, and I would raise you the Bat Cave and sliding down the pole to get to your garage.
I would rather go into but yeah, either one. But you know what? Where it goes, that's just the icing on the cake. Having the office with a bat pole activated by the thing with the.
Well, that's what child's.
My brother actually has the Shakespeare head with the flip and the buttons. It doesn't work or anything, but he does have that.
Win the Powerball and it works, right? If I won the Powerball and had billions, I would build an HMS Duke of Kent.
My luck, and win the Barbell, and they're like,
largest wooden warship ever existed, and sail it around the world. You need to stop doing that, and you need to stop hovering over the camera when you do that. I'm starting to think you're doing it on purpose.
I'll spend a nickel on the matchstick.
Say again? Oh, he wants to build a big wooden boat, and you want to buy a matchstick? Yeah. Tom Holland also did Child's Play, says MK. There you go. Fright Night to Child's Play. You know what weirded me out? The guy who directed A Christmas Story that we all enjoy every year, that lovely, wholesome film, he directed Porky's. I think that's funny as hell, man. No. That is pretty damn cool.
Yeah. Well, speaking of films, you liked the remake of Candyman, right?
Not really, no.
Candyman can.
Okay. Well, then you're in it for such a treat, because the person who wrote and directed that remake of Candyman is the one who wrote and directed the Marvels.
Hey, the guy who directed Porky's directed Christmas Story, so there can be a bad and a good movie. I mean, even Steven Spielberg, he did a great movie like 1941, and then a shit movie like Schindler's List.
What are you talking about? Porky's is a great movie, and Christmas Story is a great movie. That's a 2 for 2.
I watched every disgusting minute of that film at least twice.
Porky's? I actually saw it in the movie theaters when it came out.
I saw it when it came out on HBO. I was a little young. I saw it. Yeah.
I would say I'm 8 years older than you. No. Wait, you're 70. Yeah, you're 72.
1970.
Oh, 70. So yeah, I mean, I'm 8 years older than you.
I don't know. I'm just happy that I when I was growing up for Christmas, my oldest sibling, I got me an action figure, and then the other package like, what is this VHS? Oh, it's Caddyshack. I was like,
oh my.
This is the best Christmas ever. And I'm like 12.
Yeah, Caddyshack was a good movie. Yeah.
If you've only ever seen it on TV, you would this like, oh my gosh, this is kind of cool. And then it's like, whoa, there's a lot of boobies in here.
Yeah.
We met the blonde girl. She was also in Tron, by the way. And we were talking to her at a comic convention. She wasn't in the big the big celebrity thing. It was before celebrities really just went way too nuts. She had her own booth, and she was signing autographs, getting pictures taken. And she talked to us and even agreed to take a picture with us. And as we were walking away, I saw a picture. I was like, oh, you were in Caddyshack. I didn't recognize you. Is that? She goes, yes, that's brilliant. And then as I was walking away, it just went light bulb. And I turned to my friends. We saw her boobs.
You know what's really crazy?
I was 35 at the time. I should have been more mature about it, but I did. We saw her boobs.
So I followed the girl that was in Better Off Dead. When I played the French girl.
Oh yeah, Diane Franklin.
And
very pretty lady.
They always have like small get-togethers for like they're gonna the theaters when they're gonna show the movie. Her and the rest of the cast gets there, but never John Cusack.
He would be the hard one to get. He He was
And
the
then
one with
I
the big
saw
career.
what was the other con? Is it a con convention or something? But I saw that they had the cast of Weird Science together for the first time in a while.
Mhm.
And when you see it's like Michael Anthony,
Michael Anthony Hall, yeah.
yeah, and you just see him, it's like, holy crap, is he 70 now?
No, dumbass, he's 53, same age as I am. What the hell are you talking about?
I was just saying because
No, but
he had been really young when he was doing that the Dead Zone TV series on Sci-Fi.
he was in his young to mid 20s. Yeah, he though I do believe got into the bad substances, which kind of aged him up a bit.
True.
As far as the Better Off Dead cast, I do know that the guy who played Ricky, the fat guy, went on to work at Nickelodeon and he was fired for being a pedophile or something like that.
Well, you saw he was in the movie.
And there's a singer in there, and she ended up the one that does the theme song. If you're better off dead than to live without. She is the voice of. She does cartoons. E.G. Daily is her name. She does cartoon voice like Tommy Pickles and Rugrats, and she's in a lot of stuff.
It was just funny seeing the blonde the girlfriend that dumps John Cusack in Better Off Dead, and I'm just thinking like wow, she aged. The whole cast did like it, but seriously, it's interesting seeing that all of them like are now coming back and doing reunion stuff, and it's always like the people like John Cusack who like the main star, like, oh, I don't want to come back.
I don't need to talk. You know that documentary you, me, and Rob saw. It's called Val. It's Val Kilmer's documentary. If for the people who have not seen this, it is amazing. He had always filmed himself. He's always with a video camera, and he's got it from his first movies on up. And it goes through, and he's telling you all about everything, except for he's not telling you. It's his son. His son is an audible clone of Val Kilmer. And there is one part, though, where he mentions he used to make fun of people who lived off the nostalgia. They didn't have a career anymore. So they went around talking about their early years and all the great things they did. And then he got cancer. He's not being hired for anything. So what he does is he goes to conventions and he does that. And he says, and he even talked about how humbled he was and how he realizes that it's not a bad thing when you get to meet everybody who liked what you do. I've liked Val Kilmer as an actor since I first saw him in Real Genius. I think it's my joke was, and I was actually, as a young guy, I had this bright blonde hair. Oh, sorry, bird. And people would go, "Oh, you look like Val Kilmer." And then as I aged, people went, "Oh, you look like Val Kilmer." So
you look more like Art from Justified.
I think I look like the general gets blown up by Kevin Bacon in X-Men First Class. Yes, you're gonna have to look that one up. But when you do,
you get a cigar and you get yourself a trench coat and a shotgun. You look like the principal from Back to the Future.
I might just. I've been compared to him. I've been compared to the guy I told you, the general from X-Men First Class, and I've also been compared. What is his name? Colin something or other from.
Colin Quinn?
Say again.
Colin Quinn?
No, from What's My Line? Not What's My Line. The one where the improv.
Yeah.
Whose line is it anyway?
Whose line is it anyway? Yeah, Colin. What's his name?
Colin Joust.
Ryan Stiles, then Colin, and then yeah.
I haven't watched that show in years.
It's still on with new episodes.
That floors me. But,
right?
I don't see it, but
Colin Moultrie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it's one of those cases where it costs the network, it costs ABC so little to actually frame it, produce that show that, they can even sell cut rate advertisements on it and it'll still make a profit.
That was like America's Funniest Home Videos.
Which actually is also still going on, believe it or not.
It is still going.
I happened to stumble across it Sunday night. I was like, because it was on after a game or something, and I was like, "What's this?" and realized, "Oh my god!"
So remember, it was what's his name, Bob Saget. And I think it went to Tom Bergeron.
Well, I think it's it was Tom Bergeron, but now I want to say it's like Mo Roca or somebody.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
No, he's skinnier than you.
He's got more hair too.
Yeah.
Well, now. But yeah, I've been compared to him as also. So
kind of.
Yeah. Well, and he was a good Secret Service agent or agent in 24. Yeah.
Yeah, I dug him on that. Which Sweet Tooth are you more excited for? Sweet Tooth season 2 or Sweet Tooth and Twisted Metal? I don't know. I like Twisted Metal, the video game. I don't know how I'm gonna like the movie, but but I'll tell you what. I watched the first 2 episodes of Sweet Tooth. I kept falling asleep.
Yeah.
I don't know how good that show is because I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. Okay, E, you got to look up Matt Lucas and probably look up Matt Lucas say Doctor Who.
Oh, okay. Doctor Who.
It's just mean, Ed.
He's gonna get a virus.
Oh, go for yourselves. Okay, no, not that guy. No.
What guys? Okay, what's the name again?
Matt
I'll
Lucas.
share it. I'll share it.
He's a British comedian.
No, he looks no.
I don't know if you shave off the eyebrows.
No, if I shave off, no. If you have alopecia, maybe, but no. This is.
He's a little too grinny for you.
I'll say this: if he grins, we can see he's showing some teeth. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let's do it.
Fakeman, if you did one of those deep fake videos,
yes, you could. Yeah.
Go find a clip from one of his appearances, and he wasn't a companion per se, but he was a sidekick for a little bit.
He played Tweedledee and Tweedledum in the Alice in Wonderland remake.
Wasn't he all blue or something like that in the show?
No, not in Doctor Who.
Oh. He was Capaldi's assistant for a while.
I'm Josh Lucas.
Yeah, I was trying to think what era of Doctor Who, but yeah.
Well, Tennant, and then a little bit of Matt Smith, and then he came back for Capaldi, and I'm not sure if he's been back since then. But he usually guest appears.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he came back because I think they killed his character off at some point.
Might have been Capaldi's.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Twisted Metal is actually going to be a series on Peacock, not a movie.
Aliens is supposed to get its own series too.
Peacock is becoming one of my favorite streaming services. I just really want to get the don't put commercials on it version.
Yeah.
Okay, so bad news for you kids. James Gunn confirms door is still open for Ta-Nehisi Coates' Superman movie.
Well, okay, so take this with massive grains of salt. If you actually go through and read the story,
if you would give me a shot.
Yeah.
You want a booster too?
Coates' Superman project was first reported by Deadline's Anthony D'Alessandro back in February. At the time, D'Alessandro wrote, Deadline has confirmed that Ta-Nehisi Coates is ruining Superman reboot feature for Warner Brothers. Let's see, DC, which J.J. Abrams is producing under his Bad Robot label. All right, so Coates confirmed he was indeed working on ruining a Superman film while speaking with Shadow and Act. To be invited into the DC Extended Universe by Warner Brothers and Bad Robot is an honor. I look forward to meaningfully adding to the legacy of America's most iconic mythic hero.
Yeah.
There's a new, powerful, and moving Superman story yet to be told. We wouldn't be more thrilled to be working with the brilliant. Let's try that again. With Mr. Coates to help bring that story to the big screen, and we're beyond thankful to the team at Warner Brothers. All right. While then, Warner Brothers, let's see, Pictures Group Chairman Toby Emmerich said, Ta-Nehisi Coates Between the World and Me opened a window and changed the way many of us see the world. Just made me see that Ta-Nehisi Coates can't ride. No, I didn't read them. I can't honestly say that. I read his comics. We're confident that his take on Superman will give fans a new and exciting way to see the Man of Steel. The announcement. Okay. Where do we get? He had, for those of you that don't know who he is, he's an. Oh, okay. This is the Eric July going off on it. Let's see. It's not about Black Superman being a victim of racism. Rather, it uses Superman's alien heritage as a parallel to. Oh, good Lord. Okay. You know what? Fuck it. Here, I'm going to drop it already because somebody. You can explain what you read, but you know what? Okay. First of all, this is the big problem with modern day X-Men, or one of the big problems of modern day X-Men, especially when you have the writers going, no, we're going to make them all gay so we could show that the mutants are like gay people and that gay people go through what mutants do. They're already that, but they're that for everyone. They are that for everyone. You don't need to, if you make Calvin Ellis, Superman, he's already black. You don't have to pretend it's his alien side that's causing him all the ostracization. Unless you put it in a world where racists have been completely eliminated, you don't have to do it. You already have the reason. You don't have to make mutants, or you don't have to go through mutants with black racism or any other kind of racism beyond mutant racism. Or you don't have to do the homophobia. No, if you're going to do a homophobic story, you wouldn't have it come from outside of mutantdom. You would have it be within. There's a Spike Lee movie. It's called not Dazed and Confused, School Days. And the big racial conflict actually is not with white and black people. It's with light-skinned black people and dark-skinned black people. If you're doing a story with the X-Men and you want to tell the, oh, well, gays are ostracized story, you have it from within. With Superman, if you're doing Calvin Ellis, you already have the black man doing the racist thing. You don't bring in the alien thing unless the people who are ostracizing him or the people who are shunning him are black people. That's the only way for it to work. I'm sorry. LK, tell me why this, tell me what I missed out of that article.
Okay,
this
first
article
off,
was so much bullshit I had to stop.
All right, well, okay, actually, put the article back up, because I'll tell you this isn't anything to get worked up about. And basically, I'll kind of explain why. So if you get back to the section where it starts out that he was talking to Gizmodo, or Gizmondo. I'm not sure if it was actually them that actually talked to him, or they were reporting, from another reporter talking about it.
Oh, I closed it out, dude.
Okay, well, so long story short, if you read this, it basically says, oh yeah, I'm kind of open, the producer, has told me wonderful things, but I haven't read the script yet, but the door's always open. If you read between the lines, it's classic Hollywood nice. To me, it sounds like he got a question of, hey, is that Ta-Nehisi Coates Superman, that I heard that I'm really excited about, still going to happen? It's the same equivalent of, like on the red carpet when one of these pop culture, idiot reporters, asks an actor, actress, hey, such and such a movie's coming up. Are you excited to be a part of it? What are they supposed to say? Oh, no, I'm not interested. And actually, we've seen that happen actually, like with Brie Larson, and we saw what the reaction was. It's, as I say, it's what I call Hollywood nice. I think there's probably less than a 10% chance of this movie ever happening. And I think it was just a case of, especially when you hear James Gunn say, well, I haven't read the script, but if something gets turned in or blah, 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 that's basically him just, being nice, because he can't go out and say, yeah, no, we're past that. It's not part of, my projects or whatever. And he even kind of said in the interview too, that, if it does get done, it would be an Elseworld story. So it wouldn't even be part of, his, quote unquote universe, or whatever you want to call his thing. So I think it's just much ado about nothing, and it's just being nice because, you can't come out in public, especially with somebody like Coates, and say, yeah, no, it's dead in the water and it's never going to happen.
I would say just something a live action, just do it as an animated movie.
The thing with this is
would never allow that.
Yeah, mainly what's going on with this is James Gunn is overseeing the DCU. This is DCU Elseworld, so like Reeves has his Batman movies, and what's Todd Phillips as the Joker. This is outside. This is under his control. So that's basically what he says.
Isn't
Like,
Creature
if the
Commanders
people-
Elseworld?
No, Creature Commanders is under Gunn. So it's basically not what James Gunn said. It's not up to him. It's up to his bosses.
Oh, I just found an article. If y'all don't mind, it's actually an interesting subject to me. Guys, I've mentioned watch out with speculation and how people are speculating now. You know what I was looking for? I was looking for the first appearance of Aqua Girl, Tula, and it occurred to me I used to be able to find that everywhere, and I think speculators have just sucked them up. You can't find it anymore. The same thing happened with the first appearance of Jaime Reyes. I couldn't find one to complete an Infinite Crisis set. And then as soon as the trailer came out, they're everywhere, and they're being dumped so much to pay the high prices that people are asking for would be insane. And I have a feeling the same thing, maybe she'll show up in Aquaman and we can put it out there. And when it comes out, they'll put it out there. So this article is asking, do superhero movies really have an impact on comicdom? And this is apparently a radio interview transcript from USC Annenberg Media with store managers from California, who provide yet another overconfident view of impact that superhero movies have back on the zygote, much as journalists themselves gloss over. Okay. So it goes on to say, with Avengers Endgame holding the title as second highest grossest film of all time, superhero movies have become a fan favorite among audiences from all ages, as cemented itself as a household name in the film industry. According to Business Insider, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is worth $25 billion worldwide, turning comic book characters into desired roles by A-list celebrities. A dedicated theme park attraction like Avengers Campus, hey, we had it first in Florida, outfitted with merchandise, rides, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. What previously considered a genre for geeks and dorks, these blockbuster films have revolutionized the way superheroes are now seen and have turned 60% of adults in the United States into superfans. Well, of the movies, not the comics. I think that's what they're going to find out here. Today, the emergence of popularity continues to rise to higher heights, and the notoriety has sparked the interest in fans of the films visiting comic book stores to discover where their favorite crime-fighting vigilantes come from. No shock at all, they'd ignore how the success of the past decade is receding now under the weight of political correctness at the film studios, and even before now, it's not like geeks and dorks suddenly found respect overnight. No, actually, it's kind of funny that we still get the "you're living in your mother's basement" insults. I hear that. I was surprised to hear that on Big Bang Theory, of all things. That was the TV show that proposed to have people like ourselves as the protagonists.
No, I wasn't surprised at all to hear that on Big Bang Theory, because, it made as much, it denigrated nerds as much as quote unquote praised them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that show just
they said it was geek face.
Yeah, just kill it. Just kill it with fire. Just
With the way the companies who own the classic creations today look down their noses at the fans, it's clear the situation isn't what everyone to believe. I guess that's supposed to be what they want everyone to believe it is. Besides, most of the comic adaptions now considered a big deal are almost entirely those based on Marvel, DC. Independent comics get very little of the same attention. By contrast, unless it's something as jarring as The Boys happens to be. Now, here's what one of the interviewees said. And this is Jeffrey Patterson, the owner of Heidi Ho Comics in LA. And Jeffrey Comics in Torrance spoke on the evolution of the Image comic books, yada, yada. Okay. Let's see. I mean, well, this has changed so much because as recently as just 15 years ago, comic books like would be looked at differently at a dinner party. If you mentioned you read comics, you know, and now it's just another thing that people read. I think that to me is the biggest change, is how there are people who just casually read some comics books nowadays. It's getting like Japan where they normally read them. You can make similar points about RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons, which is now regrettably being accused of supposed racism. Let in the normies, and the blue hairs will follow. And current owners of Wizard of the Coast isn't defending the product they bought from the original TSR co-founder Gary Gygax, who decidedly made a terrible error, and even a claim that found recognition wouldn't hold up well if viewed under a magnifying glass. The writing in this is horrible, by the way. Also note how the recent film adaptation omitted the original creator's name from the credits. Sure, when Gygax sold them the property over 2 decades ago, it wasn't like they were that PC at the time, but even so, it's stupefying how many entrepreneurs are selling their product to conglomerates left and right, as though money literally takes precedence overall. And if World of the
Wizards of the Coast
really believes, what is WOTC?
Wizards of the Coast.
Wizard of, oh, okay, I just read that. I told you guys, I'm not good with abbreviations. Really believes race is a problem in D&D, that I do know. Then we obviously haven't gotten over the satanic panic in the 1980s. I remember that shit. I suppose the point here is that if D&D could undergo PC alterations, did this guy forget what the point of his article was? Then not only could Marvel and DC experience the same, they already are. First in comics and then in movies, when you consider how only the brand new Latino Blue Beetle is considered acceptable for a live action movie, and at the expense of Ted Kord and even his predecessor, Dan Garrett. I can't read this anymore. He literally do movies have that? He wasn't talking about that by the end of the article. It was a horrible article. Am I wrong?
I think he had like 5 ideas, and he's put them all together.
Yeah, I fell asleep. You're reading halfway through it. I fell asleep.
He started with do movies affect the comics, and he ended with, isn't there a lot of SJW nonsense in these movies? That's 2 different articles, dude.
It reminded me of an old Larry King, from my mind type article, which was just, you just write down a column of rambles and musings about whatever topic happened to hit your head.
Yeah, but if you start sounding like Grandpa Simpson, it's time to put the pen away. That guy just did.
So the other big story that popped up in media today is Matthew Lawrence saying he was approached by a Marvel director or something like, for a role back in the day, and turned out the guy wanted to see him to strip nude and take photos of him.
Yeah.
Now we're not sure who it is, but he's an Oscar award, director, Bryan Singer. He's been we're not sure if it's him or not, but he's been accused of stuff, But
yeah, I heard about that. I do. I would love to go to that. I kind of want to discuss that. Do you see in your comic shops? Do you hear people do you see people saying, "Hey, I saw that movie. I saw, what was the last one? Ant-Man came out. Yeah. Do you have any Ant-Man comics?" If you own a comic shop, do you hear that or see that working? Because I do not. Yeah. I've asked my friend who owns a comic shop. I used to work for him, and he has not. I don't think Batman 89 works. You may get a small bump, but it's not like it was. You remember back in the day, right, LK, with Batman 89, how freaking nuts it was in the comic shops?
Well, again, this goes back to the fact of, while Tim Burton's very stylized, it still had some relationship to the Batman book that was currently out on the newsstands. You could recognize it.
Yeah. I don't know. The excitement I don't think is there anymore. And I don't think it's anything we or the other side of this social war, whatever you want to call it. I know there's a word for it, culture war. Yeah. I don't think either side had anything to do with it. I just don't think the movies did that. since Iron Man. Maybe one or two, maybe a little bit bump, but it wasn't. I don't think anybody's ever gone nuts. So like, oh, we got to get to the comic shops.
Really don't come in their shops like every week or at least once or twice a week, and people come in number where they ask, hey, I saw this movie, you have this character. No, that's never really that. If anything, you gotta be careful how you ask people if they need help or not, because they get offended if you don't address them by the correct pronoun. Two girls came in and he's like, ladies and help, and they kind of they didn't blow up, but you could tell they're kind of irritated. I'm like, well, I don't know if you're a couple or not. It's just asking if you need help. I
had a conversation with a couple of girls. They were talking about Wonder Woman, and they were talking about the Nubia situation. And they were basically, they also went to like every book that this channel and the chat would usually go, ooh, yeah, no. They were talking about. So I legitimately said, so what is it about those books that appeal to you? Like, what are you looking at? What are you, and they didn't really have an answer. They just said, oh, we like it because it's Captain Marvel. Okay, well, you like the character there, but I was kind of, what is it? And I asked him about, so what about Wonder Woman? Because y'all were talking about Wonder Woman. And I told her, I said, I have a YouTube channel and we talk about this kind of thing all the time. And they looked and said, no, we were looking at the Wonder Woman because we see how much it was following the male gaze and how Wonder Woman, I was like, here we go. So yeah, that was like the first time not the first time, but it's one of the more recent times I've encountered that particular side of the aisle. The first time I really searched it out, there were these two gay guys who were trying to gather all the Kamala Khan trade paperbacks. I was like, okay, what is it about her? And they explained it. And actually, when I went back, I said, you know what? When I found the, I'm going to read it. When I found the hardcover, I'll give it a shot. And I was like, holy shit, this is a good character. She's just written so bad. So bad.
Pretty much.
Let's see. The movies did not increase comic sales because most normies did not care about comics before or after. Helped in merchandise sales. Yeah.
It helped in action figures and things like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once again, I kind of started to say, and had to pause for a second, is the biggest problem is there is little to no relationship between the movies and the current issues that are out. I know. I'm trying to think specifically. I want to say it was when the first Avengers movie came out. It was the classic, oh, hey, this is great. Somebody never seen it, and then went into and then of course say learned of a comic book shop, number one, and then if they went in and said, yeah, hey, I want to read the latest Adventures book, picks it up, it's like, well, what's this? None of the Avengers in this book were in the movie. I want the book with Captain America and Iron Man and Thor and Black Widow, and then it becomes kind of like, oh, well, here we can order you this trade paperback. Again, this is where anime and manga have it over our American comic book side. Somebody goes and sees like the most recent My Hero Academia movie, and if they loved it, they can go pick up volume 1 or even the current volume, and the same characters that they saw on the screen are going to be there. It's going to be around the same storylines. They'll be able to pick up and just enjoy it. You can't do that with our current comic book movies, both DC and Marvel.
I know that
it's a big problem.
When they first started the MCU, they were putting some inserts, but they were advertising the Marvel app, reading app. But that was about it. It's like, well, that doesn't help comic book store. This means that they're advertising digital comics.
Yeah, no. Once again, this was this goes back to a big failure on DC and Marvel's part, is the lack of support that they provided to the comic shops. Because basically in DC and Marvel's minds, it was, oh, well, we're selling the books to the comic shop, and then once they buy it, we're out. It's good luck, comic shop. Go advertise for yourself. Go find the customers to sell our books.
Yeah, it's amazing Marvel doesn't have commercials for Marvel Comics at the beginning of their movies,
Yeah,
especially
that's-
considering that they're going to be doing a big summer push, a big summer event in comics. So why not at the start of Guardians of the Galaxy, you buy a little advertisement? I don't know with your theaters, with our, they have all those advertisements in the beginning. Put in a Marvel Comics. That way you're always advertising for the books. If I were DC, I'd be doing the same thing.
Because of the two things is, one, the comics division and the movie division are different. And two, they make more money off selling T-shirts than they make off the entire Marvel Comics. So they rather advertise their T-shirts and mugs and stuff like that.
Then advertise the T-shirts. Don't see that either.
So I want to point out that do you remember we watch those DC animated movies and they show us like the kids walking in the comic book store and picks up the first cover and then it goes to Blue Beetle, whatever. Most people are like, "Where the hell's a comic book store? What the hell is that? I've never seen that before."
Yeah. I think maybe a comic book shop by a movie theater, like especially if you can get one right there.
I turned 18, and that's when I first discovered they actually go to comic book stores. I just watched the cartoons.
Good boy.
You know, that was like 2003, man. When I first discovered there actually was comic book stores.
Okay. Now you can say hello to everybody. Right. You're looking to bite me.
At least DC does the old trade paperbacks. They're advertising the trade paperbacks nowadays.
Yeah.
In the movies and the trailers.
I heard that they're going to be putting out a whole bunch of epic collections. And I saw a comment. One person said they're releasing the same damn shit, and that's something I've noticed for a long time. Like, okay, we're going to release I remember they came out with this Chronicles of Superman and then Green Lantern and so forth. We're going to release them all. You're going to see. And they only did like the first 10 or 12 Action Comics and Superman comics. And then they stopped and, okay, let's do archives now, where they release the same 10. They never actually go any further. The best thing they ever did was those showcases. Yep. And the omnibuses now. Put those out again, maybe.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for Flash Silver Age number 5.
Yeah, what sucks is they don't keep them in print, though.
Actually, the best thing Marvel ever did was release those DVD ROMs. X-Men more stuff.
Yeah, but once you do that, you don't ever have to do it again.
Yep.
I guess that's one reason why they don't have them still in print.
Like I said, I lucked out. I have every comic from Spider-Man, including the Fantasy, 15, all the way up to the year 2006.
Did you notice Ask MK, the Flash trailers? They advertised the Flashpoint books. Did they? No, that's awesome. DC Animated that is in the DVDs would have a coupon discount for comics. Says cartoons and comics. That's awesome. They won't talk about that. They want people to know how many comic shops have been lost, says one slick dude. Yeah.
That's gonna be the most confusing thing. Is like you go to read a Flash comic book. That's not Barry Allen. Why does he have blonde hair?
Yeah. So let's see. Tomorrow, Maranya, are you guys going to be doing a live stream?
Possibly. I don't know.
Okay.
I have to see if I can get the gang together. I'll have to see.
Okay.
But what I was going to say, there's also a rumor that in Flashpoint, in the Flash movie, they're going to have cameos of Nicolas Cage's Superman.
Yeah, I saw that.
Also Chris Reeve. Also, they're going to have your Wonder Woman, and also Supergirl. Helen Slater are going to be showing up in the Flashpoint.
Possible. That would be kind of cool.
There are possible cameos. But
that would be
pretty. I just saw the most coolest, but also weirdest thing. Sylvester Stallone is rebooting Cliffhanger.
And Chris Reeve is supposed to show up.
He's reprising his role as the main character from Cliffhanger in the reboot.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's a reboot, so you can actually have him in there. He doesn't have to be doing all the Sylvester Stallone things. The man is in impeccable shape, but he is 80 years old. Or is he 70 years old?
He's like 75.
Yeah. I remember they made it a point. He went out with that young lady in what was it, Tulsa King?
Yep.
And she was like, "Well, how old are you? 60?" And he was like, "Try 70." And she was like, "Oh my God."
You're my grandfather.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see, a fun fact RDV I saw recently that was CW Flash. They wanted to dye his hair blonde, but one of the showrunners said, "Nah, don't. Your hair will fall out by the time the series is done." That makes sense.
They can also CG color it too if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
It would be the Helen Slater effect. That's what happened to her. That's why she did Billie Jean after that.
Because her hair was all shortened by the dye.
It was breaking, so that's why she ended up doing the hair wax.
But she did a movie though, so he's doing like 9 seasons. I think his hair would be gone. Hers would be fine.
No, it did actually, because she was, I think, very dark haired. So they
And nowadays,
wanted her.
most people wear wigs now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was better for them to just go natural with them anyway.
Because
No, don't worry about all that kind of stuff.
what's her name? Actually dyed her hair for Supergirl show. Listen to nice.
Benoist.
Yeah, she's actually a brunette.
Nobody says anything about what's his name, Wesley Shipp being a brunette.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Well, he's out gray. He's out gray now. So
Well, yeah, but back in the day, he was a brunette variant.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes that much difference, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, back in the days, people were just surprised there was a Flash. They were
Yeah,
doing
they were happy. We were happy to get a Flash TV.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It
with
was good.
Same with the early seasons of the Flash thing. Like that was
Yeah, it
a
was actually
decade ago.
Actually, pretty good.
Ibk's asking, did you hear that the Flash movie director didn't want a CW Flash as a cameo because of not enough time? What I heard, but CW is also supposed to have some sort of cameo, supposedly. If it happens, it happens. At this point, like I said, I'm in. They don't have to. Actually, they never had to advertise to me. Just the trailer could have been the Flash show up on this day, and I would be there. But at this point, I'm so jazzed for this movie. I am legitimately excited for the new Flash.
Yeah, Ezra Miller did a cameo in the Crisis crossover when they had the Flash.
Yep.
Are you ready to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. Want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
I hope his role in this film isn't just to repeat old Batman lines.
It probably is.
I'm pretty sure I'm hoping they used the 2 lines just to get people excited. It's him again. Now give us a character. I want to see the character. I don't want to see him show up just to do his greatest hits.
Like him, like I said, like as far as let's get nuts. He never said that when he was as Batman. It was when he was Bruce Wayne and when he gets shot.
Yeah, but he's got his cowl off.
I know, but I mean, like, they did it as Bruce Wayne, where he's getting shot by the Joker. That's what I line because of.
And his henchmen.
Yep.
Well, only one of them shot him.
And the Joker died. The henchman essentially died. So who knows that line but Batman? Oh wait, no. Vicky Vale, but she's out of the picture.
Yeah, he said that in front. He said it in the fireplace, and he gets shot by the Joker, and then but he never said the line again after that though. There's only one scene.
No, he didn't.
But the I'm Batman is he said that like, who are you? I'm Batman.
That was in the very beginning of the movie.
Like that's okay. Like, but it's not. It's maybe like if they would have brought when they had No Way Home, having what's his name? Willem Dafoe saying,
Willem Dafoe.
Parker, I'm something of a scientist myself. It's just like,
Not holding my breath for the Flash as Ezra Miller dies. Nothing for me besides make me a desert. A
desert?
I am not holding my breath for the Flash as Ezra Miller dies. Nothing for me besides make me a desert.
Oh, he made him a wimpy loner.
Does.
Okay.
I think it's supposed to say does.
Yeah.
Oh, does nothing for me besides make me a desert.
I say dry. Nothing.
Okay.
Sure. All right. That was
have fun. I'm seeing it. I mentioned it as soon as I saw the trailer. I tweeted out, "This thing looks."
I heard they're gonna
cool.
incorporate everything he did through, these allegedly accused stuff. He's gonna throw a chair at a girl and choke slam her.
Yeah, it was all advertisements for stuff that was in in the movie. Yeah, the Flash creates a cult out of 12-year-olds.
It was outtakes.
Yep.
That really happened. That was just behind the scenes.
He's being controlled by the Pied Piper.
Hawaii is in danger.
Oh, jeez.
They were filming in Hawaii. That's what it was. It was all part of the Flash movie.
Yeah, that's the ticket. Alrighty, what else do we have before we call it? Oh, well, you know what? I did a top 10 list last time, and I figure what the heck, I'll do another one. We did 10 big mistakes of Marvel, and we just talked about them. Do we agree? Do we disagree? This is 10 DC Comics that wasted great characters. Alrighty. DC Comics like Flashpoint, Doomsday Clock feature some of the DC's best characters, but they misused. Well, okay, just tell us the list right in the beginning. Alrighty. So number 10, Nightwing, issues number 50 to 74.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Some DC experiments have failed. Oh, am I sharing?
Yes, you're sharing.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure because I did do that last time. Let me close in so I could see comments and everything here before we get started. This is one of the better ones here, I think. Let me see, where are we going? Here we go. Stretch. Stop it. Oh shit. Don't do that. The page is unresponsive. No, it isn't. It's responding. Let's see. Some DC experiments have failed, like the one they tried with Nightwing, issues 50 through 74, written by Dan Jurgens with art by multiple artists. The book completely changed Nightwing after being shot in the head by KG Beast. It's working fine. A new personality emerged. Rick Grayson. Fans didn't like this new version of Nightwing, and the look bled readers for 2 years. Fans loved Dick Grayson, so this new, less likable version turned fans off. The talent behind the comic was always great, but Rick Grayson turned readers off completely. Sometimes it felt like the point, since DC boss at the time, Dan DiDio, was known for disliking Nightwing and fans.
Now,
what do you think?
The Nightwing crew was cool.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Dan Jurgens.
But Nightwing himself, no, that was totally a wrong way to go with the character. Unless it was Elseworlds.
Yep. All right, next up we have Doomsday Clock by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. It's gone down among DC's greatest failures of the 2010, and that's impressive in an extremely terrible way. Especially when one looks at the cast of characters. Ozymandias, Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen were in the book, as were DC bigwigs like Superman, Batman, Black Adam, and the Justice Society. Doomsday Clock's problems were manifold. The biggest issue were constant delays and people not wanting Watchmen and DC to cross over. However, even with those, if the comic characters had been portrayed better, people would be happier with it. This wasn't the case, adding to Doomsday's Clock's unfortunate legacy. Now, I know a lot of people who like this story. I bowed out after the second. I bowed out after the second delay when it was like, if you're doing an issue every 3 months, I'm good.
The problem is that the other people wanted to change the things that were happening here. Like this book at the end was supposed to reintroduce Legion, but then Bendis came over and he took over Legion and JSA, because right after this book was supposed to end, Johns was supposed to launch his JSA that he's currently doing.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was supposed to happen way back when this ended, and he was supposed to have a Legion book.
Okay,
But
Man of
that
Action's sakes.
Yeah, it's Bendis coming over to DC what ruined it.
Bendis caused a lot of delay problems with it, with what he did with his storylines.
Man of
Because he
Action's
took
saying
away some storylines that was
Doomsday
supposed to
Clock
happen here.
was good. It was the secondary Ass Clownery event that killed it. Metal. They tried to catch lightning in a bottle, but Watchmen magic did not return. All right, let's move to number 8, Flash Rebirth. The 2000s, DC went a long way towards rebuilding the pre-crisis DC multiverse, bringing back big names like Hal Jordan and Barry Allen. Fans were excited for Barry's return and eagerly awaited the Flash Rebirth by Jeff Johns and EVS. was the big character's big coming out party in the modern age. The book also starred the other members of the Flash family, Reverse Flash, and many other Flash villains. Unfortunately, Johns basically ignored everything people had once liked about Barry Allen and turned him into a little more than a cliche police officer and superhero. Gone was the character's wonder and corny charm. As a result, Flash Rebirth turned off many fans. Even more tragic, it was a precursor of an unfortunate run for Barry Allen. I did not want this, and I did not like this.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Big?
I was going to say it's kind of BS because there are a lot of people who did like the Johns Flash.
I did not want Flash to come back, nor did I want Hal Jordan to come back. I thought Kyle Rayner was fine and Wally West was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would have made smarter not to have him come back, you know. But if you're gonna kill him off first time, you should have established that. Okay, Barry's dead, but at least Iris is knocked up with the kids, so you can at least have Impulse later on. I mean, it made more sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Moving on, we have at number 7, Supergirl, Volume 6. This is the new 52, right?
Yeah.
Supergirl is going through a renaissance, something the character deserves. Kara Zor-El is a beloved DC character, and her return in Superman Batman, the Supergirl from Krypton, was celebrated by readers. However, when the new 52 reboot relaunched the character, fans weren't happy with the changes. Over 4 years of Supergirl, Volume 6 by various creators, Supergirl became an angry Kryptonian partisan who rubbed readers the wrong way. They even made Kara, one of the Silver and Bronze Age happiest and most optimistic characters, into an anger-fueled Red Lantern. Many Supergirl fans preferred to forget this era of the character story.
Yeah,
dude, dye her hair blue, and everybody would have said feminist.
Yeah, this was interesting too because she just came off as a spoiled brat. She had no connection to anybody on Earth. She was willing to sacrifice Earth to bring back her family, and that
kind of made sense for the time. Like,
so I would just say that Clark should have backhanded her in her face and just said, like, "You're a stupid bitch."
All right.
That they were actually making them fight because this was right after she landed on Earth. That storyline where they somewhat was doing it good, they were doing it terrible. Like this had its ups and downs.
Okay.
My friend who's a huge Supergirl fan says this was mid at best. Vengman, that's your cue.
Let's move on to number 6.
Damn it.
Teen Titans Volume 4.
This was just garbage.
It goes on to say 2010's DC was disappointing for many titles, with Teen Titans Volume 4 being considered among the worst. Written by Scott Lobdell with art by Brett Booth and Eddie Barrows, over its 3-year run, it starred many characters from pre-Flashpoint Teen Titans: Superboy, Tim Drake's Red Robin, Cassie Sanmark's Wonder Girl, and Bart Allen's Kid Flash. It also introduced new characters like Bunker. Never heard of him. The book starred characters who had been rather successful during the 90s and 2000s. However, the series' portrayal of the characters didn't sit well with fans. This book was the beginning of the downfall of the Teen Titans and the entire generation of heroes that starred in it. A lot of stuff I read from New 52, we're going to make it realistic. No, you're going to make everybody assholes. That's what it turned out to be. Well, I bowed out when they made Superman an asshole.
I want to point out something that's really interesting because Bunker was a new character that was gay, but it wasn't focused on him being gay at the time. You know, so if it's proved that you can write a character that's not Alex Danvers. Hi, I'm gay.
Yeah. Well, hello, Agent Danvers. Gay. Yes, hi.
Well,
all right,
I'm just saying, the better writer can handle Tim. If Tim have Tim being gay, it shouldn't just be all about Tim being gay. You should have it be about Tim being a hero first.
Okay. The number 5, the Savage Hawkman. I disagree on this, but okay. Hawkman is a DC legend, but his solo series in recent years have been a hard sell. There was a stellar series written by Jeff Johns and artist Rags Morales, relaunch in the early 2000s, and another in 2018 by Robert Venditti and artist Brian Hitch, Fernando Pizzarian, and more. However, there were also some flops like the New 52 Savage Hawkman, written by Tom DeFalco and Rob Liefeld with art by Tony S. Daniels, Philip Tan, Joe Bennett and focused on the character's violent side. Hawkman could be a difficult character, even for great creators, and not everyone on Savage Hawkman fit that bill. It only lasted 2 years and left such a bad taste in fan mouths that it took over a half a decade for Hawkman to get another solo series. By the way, I dig all of the runs on Hawkman, but definitely check out that Venditti series.
Oh, that one was really good.
Yeah.
Savage Hawkman was not that bad.
Yeah, I didn't mind Savage Hawkman, but I could see if how some people might be turned off on it. But to me, Hawkman's never had a bad run. All right, number 4. This is something we can agree on: All-Star Batman and Robin. Some DC books have mixed receptions, like All-Star Batman and Robin. No, there was no mixed Robin by writer Frank Miller and artist Jim Lee. The art was stellar. The cast was among the best any fan can ask for, starring Batman, Dick Grayson's Robin, Alfred Black Canary, Joker, members of the Justice League, and many Batman legends. Miller's writing felt like a parody of his own hard-boiled style. All-Star Batman and Robin became a guilt pleasure for some, but most hated it. Asbar was released alongside All-Star Superman, a book considered the greatest Superman story. Asbar can't stand beside that book for a variety of reasons, but a huge one was how bad the characters were depicted. Many characters felt like the worst versions of themselves. Have y'all never heard this book referred to as Asbar yet before?
Yeah, that's if I say it's really that bad, then yeah, that acronym fits it perfectly.
Yeah. Well, it really put the extra S on it. Yeah. I don't think anybody really.
There is a reason this book has the last issue. There is a reason the last 2 issues of this book has never come out.
Yeah, that's true. This is an unfinished series. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. The only people who like this are like the people who liked it.
Well, there is
I've ever
a
met
new.
anyway. Like
There
it,
is a new
ironically.
there is a new Batman and Robin series supposed to be coming out ongoing. I don't be. It probably might be a continuation. Who knows? But it's not Frank Miller though.
Is it wasn't it Mark Waid?
Maybe Mark Waid doing it.
I thought it was Mark Waid doing it.
Which I'm all for it. If it's Damian and Bruce.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Rhaegar says Frank Miller went from hard-boiled to runny eggs.
No,
Man of Action's wondering who wrote the last paragraph there. When did Hawkman ever go barefoot? Really? Wait, he was barefoot? Let's see. Bars of S. They need to go back to grade school. I agree. They wrote Bunker Gay in that run. I guess that's what they're saying. To those who didn't get it, Asbar would stand to be, it's crap. It's very crap. By the way, I have said this before. I'll say it again. Frank Miller went into Sin City, and he never came out. All right, let's move on to number 3. Number 3, Justice League: The Trinity War. The New 50. This actually might be the reason why I can't sell that book. So the New 52 started out as a sales winner, but a variety of factors quickly changed the way readers looked at it. One of these was certainly the first big event of the relaunch, Justice League Trinity War. The series kicked off with a free comic book day special and ran through Justice League of America, Justice League Dark, and several miniseries. Despite starring DC's best, it dropped the ball. Many of the problems of the New 52 had to do with the changes that were made. Justice League Trinity War was meant to explain who the character Pandora was. However, it also made changes to fan favorites like The Question and Phantom Stranger, and often felt like it was trying to be Marvel-style versus event. Justice League Trinity War became the first huge New 52 disappointment. Never read it.
It was mid, but the thing they did point out well is that how it changed The Question into being, instead of Vic Sage being a normal person in a mask, it turned him into an entity. So that.
Tehillim's correcting us. It was Josh Williamson. Tehillim's correcting us. It's Josh Williamson, not Mark Waid, who's going to be writing the new Batman and Robin.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I was hearing rumors of it being Mark Waid.
But Shazam, ongoing, but Mark Waid's out this week. So Number
2, Justice League Volume 2. Wow, New Age, New 52. They just should have said this is what's wrong with the New 52.
Wonder Woman in pants.
Alrighty. New 52 has aged poorly, and the reception of its flagship book, Justice League, highlights all the reboot's problems. Written by Jeff Johns, art by Jim Lee, Ivan Reyes, Jason Fabok, and more. The book starred Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Hal Jordan, Barry Allen, and Cyborg. It also boasted villains like Darkseid, Crime Syndicate, yada yada. Even with DC classics like Doom Patrol, among the others, DC characters didn't live up to their fullest potential. Cyborg was completely misused. John's Darkseid was completely unfamiliar, and the Superman-Wonder Woman relationship didn't work. Some stories were good, but more often than not, the book got too many things wrong. This literally says nothing, by the way. This paragraph right here is like when you're talking about, oh, did you how did you like that movie? Well, you know, I think it was bad in many ways. I thought story was horrible. I thought the seats were uncomfortable, and it doesn't really say anything. Like you can write this paragraph without ever reading the book. But that's just me. Frank Miller was so caught up in the fame that he lost his voice as man of action. I agree. Let's see. Okay. Or given that it's pressing low on, I don't get that one. Okay, let's move on. The number one biggest mistake DC Comics have made. It just seems like New 52 would be it. Right?
Hiring Bendis.
Flashpoint.
Rhaegar
destroyed the Flash.
Sorry, I was just gonna say the Rhaegar, the comic you read about. He's on NyQuil right now. He's kind of like he thought you didn't know what you were reading here. I thought it was reading Marvel or something like that. So he was on the end.
Okay, we'll do that after. Flashpoint destroyed the Flash mythos, but that's not all. Written by Jeff Johns with art by Andy Kubert, the book also ended the beloved post-crisis DC mythos and ushered in the New 52 starring Barry Allen, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Thomas Wayne's Batman, and more. It had a powerless Barry Allen. Okay, we know the story. Barry Allen had already been misused since his return, and this comic continued the trend. Everything fans loved about Allen was absent from Flashpoint, where the hero was essentially turned into the event's villain. While fans loved Thomas Wayne's Batman, none of the other characters were well used or had stellar moments.
Yeah.
What do we think of that, kids?
Yeah, Thomas Wayne, it's interesting as an Elseworld Batman, but not mainline Batman.
I've never read Flashpoint. I actually want to make a point to read Flashpoint before the movie comes out. Yeah. I have no doubt that it is going to be completely different than the film. But I agree. Flashpoint was one of DC's biggest mistakes because they decided to stop everything. They decided to say, okay, we're going to reboot it. They had a great example of what to do with Ultimate Marvel. Yeah. They should have found a way to do the same thing and keep the characters we love.
The reboot was idiot pushing it because they actually had to change the last 2 issues of Flashpoint and the ending to make the reboot happen.
Yeah.
The reboot was not supposed to happen after Flash ended. What I've said multiple times is there was going to be a Flash Barry Allen series, a Flash Wally West series, and Grant Morrison was supposed to leave Batman and come on to work with the Flash. And Jeff Johns has a series, Grant Morrison has a series, and the titles pick up where they left off.
Wow.
Didiot saw that Superman sales were down and Wonder Woman sales were down, so they were doing ideas to how to get the sales back up.
So and they said, let's renumber this thing that's almost going to hit a 1,000, and they never actually did. I will be right back, guys. I got to hit the head.
Their brilliant idea, instead of changing change the costumes, and then 2, reboot the entire universe.
Yeah, Rhaegar's bringing up the Flashpoint cartoon. If you've never read the comic book, just watch the cartoon, an animated movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd argue that you're probably better off going to see the Flash movie first, and then if you're interested, going and reading Flashpoint or watching the cartoon, because guaranteed, if you like what you read or the cartoon, you're going to get disappointed and frustrated as you watch the Flash movie. Because
I already am. It's Ezra Miller. I don't care about that shit. Sorry. I watched the animated movie and I really enjoyed it for what it was. I liked the dark crisis that they had tie into that. Like if Barry had lost, in Reverse Flash in 1. But yeah, I guess that I have no desire to see the Ezra Miller stuff. It's not because he chokeslammed a girl or what all that stuff. It's just I'm at this point. Why if I do watch it, it's gonna be like an HBO Max. It's to me I don't know, man. It's just like it's basically. Do I need to watch it? No, really. For me at this point, it's just gonna reboot the series. Then whatever James Gunn does his verse with a new thing. But I don't know. I'd rather roll back and rewatch the Justice League cartoon or watch the Superman or Batman cartoons, and where they have better storytelling than what DC's been doing with their live action for a while.
Well, yeah, no, the Justice League cartoon, Justice League Unlimited.
I love them, man. Like those are like the Superman stories in there, the voice acting, just the storytelling. That's to me is much more entertaining, and I wish they just could go back and just like we're launching another series, Justice League, and it's gonna be Justice League Unlimited, like season 5 or whatever like that, Yeah. And I honestly can't have Conroy, but you can have other people reprise a role.
Yeah. Well, what they understood with the cartoons, and again, for me, what made the Batman the animated series, you can go back to the start of it, work so well is they must have, sat down and they, had a very fundamental understanding of what the characters were. Because I've always thought of it as these are kind of the iconic representations. No, they're not telling exact stories, ripped from the comics, etc. But they boiled it down to what the key iconic essence was of each character, and so they were recognizable that way. Honestly, I've read different Batman series and what have you, but for me at least, I always still kind of just gravitate back to the Batman the animated series. That honestly is still kind of my favorite Batman of all time. Just because it was just so perfect and just distilled in just a perfect way.
Yeah, like I said, watching the Superman cartoons, those Super animated series for the 90s, that alone was just awesome. Every story they had in there, you had awesome Michael Iron Darkseid. The whole cast was just great. And then you had Lobo, and you had all these different. You had Mongol, you had just all these different Superman villains, Metallo. Just like it was.
One of my favorite episodes is the Mr. Mixelplick. Gilbert Godfrey played Mr. Mixicle, but that guy.
Macy Plex?
Yeah. The one where you keep seeing, it shows his girlfriend in different poses and in different rooms. And every so often you just see Mixelplick go, I'll get him next time. And then it just keeps happening. I thought that scene was funny.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then, of course, too, who voiced his girlfriend.
Who was it?
Sandra Bernhard.
Oh, that fits. That fits.
Yeah.
That's one of those. Yeah, they should be together in real life. I was watching Pop Culture Crisis earlier today. Brett said they should do a Red Sun movie or series. You mean like the Superman? Did. Yeah, they did an animated movie. It sucked.
The communist Superman.
Oh my God. They made the communists the good guys. I mean, even in the book, the communists are the bad guys. It starts off with Superman, Mother Russia is the greatest, but he realizes they're the bad guys. They never had that heel turn. And they really pushed communist ideology in that movie.
I just said it's funny, like the Batman, he's like, I'm going to take you out, and he blows himself up like, okay, there's no more Batman anymore.
Yeah, that does happen in the movie, though.
Yeah.
In the book as well. Great book. Great freaking book.
Oh yeah, and Luthor's kind of a bit of a hero in there because he's basically leading the American fight, against the communist menace.
Oh, he's still a dick, even as a hero. That's what's funny about it, and that he's obsession with Superman.
Oh, so Rhaegar saying that he wants a live action Red Sun with Mel Gibson directing. I'm good with that, man. I'm fine. I think that'd be a great idea. Mel Gibson can direct a movie.
Yeah, maybe in an alternate universe somewhere that happened, but it ain't happening here.
Probably not. Probably
Imagine
not.
Hollywood making communists the bad guy. Ha!
Oh, I watched Ruby and Justice League.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
Yeah, it really kind of felt like a video game cutscene. The pacing and everything, the way the Ruby character spoke, it really just seemed like it came right out of a video game. It wasn't horrible, but it is not one of the best. I don't even think it reaches the middle of the list of DC comic animated films since the 90s.
Did you watch the Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes?
Loved it.
Yeah.
I really like the Supergirl and the Legion. This one just, flat.
That was
you
a
think
different...
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, that's a different storytelling of her being trained. I don't think that's probably any comic books, is it? Her sitting here to the future?
No. No.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe Gunn will do a Batman Beyond movie with Old Man Bruce and Terry at some point? I don't know. One thing that I thought was interesting is he said these are some of the movies. When he was bringing up, when he did the lineup and everything, he actually said these are some of the movies we have in store for you. So I wondered if he did leave something out. Like, sure, we're going to get all the stuff he mentioned, but are we also going to get some things? Yeah. Are we also going to get some things in this phase 1 that he hasn't mentioned? Everybody's been saying, hey, let's do a Batman Beyond since the cartoon has been out. So hopefully he'll listen. I still say, man, Warner Brothers sat on this freaking gold mine and let Marvel be the first out the gate. It's ridiculous. They even did the first 2 superhero movies. And the first, it's the first 2, right? Was Swamp Thing before Howard the Duck? Yeah, they did DC did the first 3 superhero films or comic book movies.
Yep.
And by that I mean characters. Obviously, Superman had sequels, but they did they did Batman 66, Superman 78, and Swamp Thing. And then after that, we got a Marvel film, Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck was the first Marvel film. And the second one didn't come around until... when was the second Marvel film?
That's the Captain America one,
wasn't
it?
Blade?
Oh. Wasn't it Captain America ones?
Yeah, they did, but those weren't released to theaters. Captain America and Fantastic Four, they never hit theaters. And they went straight to video and, of course, bootleg if you had the Fantastic Four.
I still love Blade, man. Every time I watch that movie, it's such a fun movie to watch.
I haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah.
I
actually saw one of the Captain America movies on my honeymoon back in '93. I can't remember which one it was. I think it had like a castle.
Wait, did you see it on the big screen?
No, it was on the in-room cable.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. It never made it to the big screen. But yeah, that's the one with the Italian red skull and the Cap's hood had fake rubber ears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love comics. Let's see. Speaking of which first comic book movie was better? You think the first Batman in the 60s or the Howard Duck movie? 66 every freaking day.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt, man. Look, I think that Howard the Duck is good camp, but it's accidental camp. Batman was done on purpose and made very funny.
Played straight, and you got the humor because it was played straight.
So if you go back and look at Howard the Duck again, it was in that. It was in the same vein as Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah, but Buckaroo Banzai was good. Howard the Duck was not.
I very vaguely remember seeing it in the theater.
So the Batman movie, gotta ask, is that the one? Was there?
I have a soft spot in my heart for Howard the Duck. I'll agree with you that Batman 66 is the better, more consistent of the two movies. But I'm not going to dump on Howard the Duck here.
Right.
But how many Batman movies were there with Adam West?
One.
There's just the one.
Just the one. So the one with the shark and the bomb.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, I always thought those were 2 movies for some reason. My mind's like,
just the
is that all
one.
one?
What do you think were 2 movies? V.
The scene. Well, I thought the Batman 66. I thought there was 2 movies because I always forget that him running with the bomb. And,
That's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the shark. Then
Wait a minute. There was a Marvel movie before Howard the Duck. Can't believe you forgot about it.
What was it?
The greatest Doctor Strange movie ever made.
That was a
TV film.
TV movie.
Granted, you are correct. The greatest Doctor Strange movie ever made, and
you also had the Incredible Hulk movies.
Yeah, awesome. But yeah, they were all TV films.
They're all TV movies.
Jay, what does WOTC both stand for?
Wizards of the Coast. So they're the company that created Magic the Gathering, and they bought TSR, bought Dungeons and Dragons, and basically have completely turned it over to all of their woke executive and creative idiots, and are systematically destroying it one by one.
Yeah. Let's see. It is $1.40 in. Let me read this off first. First Batman movie was done in the 19th. No, those were serials. Those were short segments put together.
If you want to go for that, then actually Captain Marvel. I think
By the way, the Captain Marvel serial, they are on Tubi, by the way, all these movie serials, and they are definitely worth watching. Captain Marvel's really just a ton of fun.
And they did have a Captain America one.
Yep.
And Superman, of course.
Watched them all. They are so much fun. Check them out if you can.
Yeah, well, but technically they did go to theaters.
Yeah, but they weren't movies. They were that if you do that, then the Looney Tunes shorts are legitimate movies.
Or aren't movies just basically they film them different scenes and put it together?
And then but they release them as one whole.
No, the first DC movie actually was, I believe, the
Superman and the
Mole Men. Superman and the Mole Men with George Reeves.
Yeah. You are correct. I am wrong on that one.
That was actually the very first DC.
So okay, Superman and the Mole Men. Then there was Superman and Atom Men or something like that, and then there was Batman 66, and then there was Superman 78, and then there was Swamp Thing, and then there was Howard the Duck. So it took 5 DC movies before. Why is DC shooting themselves in the foot? It was brought up earlier. They had a freaking roadmap on how to do this well. Put out the Superman movie, The Flash, the Cyborg, Wonder Woman. Boom. You get the JLA.
You establish the solo characters first, then you put them together.
So what do we have coming up? Tomorrow, guys, check out the show. Marania's going to host.
If we can get the gang together, we are going to do a recap of this last RPG campaign, and also it's going to be a recruiting film to get more people. We would like to get at least one or two, possibly 3 more people to join in.
On Wednesday around 8 o'clock, or between 8 and 9, I'll be doing an unboxing. I'm going to be getting 2 short boxes worth of comics. A lot of Bronze Age and Copper Age stuff. Looking forward to that. On Thursday, doing an auction. That box I had with all the chewed up comics and coverless comics. It's going to be a 25 and 50 cent auction.
When is that auction?
That's going to be Thursday. I'm not holding anybody to it. I get it. It's off the rails. If you can make it, cool.
It's off the grid. What time are you planning to hold it? In case I can't.
Same time, 8.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. What about 9?
I could be double watching. Yes, you can do it.
What you doing?
Because normally I watch the other channel that you don't want me to promote.
What? The Geeky Puppet Show?
Yeah, I usually.
I was literally going to ask our DV what he's doing, but hold on just a sec. Yeah, you could do that. You could.
I normally actually do that.
You could give them watch time while you're doing the.
That's why I did that.
I do that all the time. So I get that. Yeah, I always try to give everybody the watch time when I go when you finish the live stream on Monday, I'll put it on Nash's channel and let it go sometimes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, going to do the auction.
Okay.
I did find in all of those chewed up books and everything, I did find that there are some big dogs. If you're doing a 25 or 50 cent auction, like the giant sized Dracula #2 here, this is going to be a $1. This is the big dogs for a 25 cent issue sale. And then we have the monkeys #2, which will be $1. That's a big dog. And then $1 for the first appearance of Killer Frost. And then $1 for, no, I'm sorry, it actually has to be about $5 for the third appearance of the Sentinels. This is X-Men #16.
16.
Yeah, there's some dollars behind these things if they get
old
enough.
You could do for your the monkeys non-cover, if you were willing to keep it for yourself, you could always find a picture of the cover, print it off, and then put it in the bag with it.
I've already got #2.
Oh, you've already got
Okay, why is there an audition for my replacement going on in the chat?
An audition for your replacement?
Okay, all the people who are roasting poor Eric, who is not here to defend himself.
Yeah. Well, see, I was just gonna say, I mean, Breen, is still ticked off at Moses because Breen wrote, the Commandments 11 through 15, and then Moses had to drop the tablet.
Yep.
Thou shalt not put sports on hold.
Alrighty. Here we go. Let me make this just a little bit more attractive. There we go.
Okay, you actually
it does.
The cover was folded on the inside. Obviously, it's not attached, but there we go. I'll at least go that much.
That's a little better, actually.
And I have one more big dog.
I like that he said, let me make this a little more attractive, and he holds it in front of his face.
Wow. That'll work.
Wow.
Guys, he deserves this one. You know what, Venkman? You've got the sound. Make the applause. That was a good damn joke.
Or the drum roll.
Yeah, either do the laughter or the applause, man. You got the soundboard.
I disconnected it for right now.
Okay. Now this is the real big dog. Like the other, like this one is will start at $5, but this one will be starting at $30. And if it doesn't go anywhere, it's going to go up on the freaking wall because the chew on this thing is so small. It doesn't affect story at all. And as a matter of fact, if I held it just by the corners, you wouldn't even be able to tell, but it is a beautiful, otherwise beautiful cover.
Ooh, it's a 10 center. Wow.
It is so hard to get these things in any kind of decent price.
And the reds are perfectly good. There's no fading.
Yep. Bright colors. It looks great.
Except when
and as you can see, with just my fingers, I am actually covering the chew.
I don't think it's actually a chew. It's more like somebody just kind of abused it a little.
So that's supposed to be Diana, Donna, and then some freaky looking little kid.
Little baby.
No, she was not named. She was never named Donna. Donna shows up in Showcase 60 something.
Yeah.
But yeah, what happened was Bob Haney, who wrote the Teen Titans, saw stuff like this and thought, oh, okay, so there's a teenage Wonder Girl, so I'll put out Wonder Girl. But what this actually is, or it started off being, is just stories of Wonder Woman as a little girl, and of course as a baby. And actually, the weird thing about this is that there never was a Wonder Girl. It's just Wonder Woman as a young girl. But even the Wonder Woman writers didn't pay attention to that. So by the time you get to issues like this, they're treating this character who was just Wonder Woman young. Did you shit on me?
I don't know, but man, I actually said if you get that clean and pressed, that's $100 comic book.
Could be. But
and it's the Brave and the Bold 16, not Showcase.
Did I say Showcase? Yeah, okay, Brave and the Bold. Yes. But they messed up and they started treating these characters who were just Wonder Woman as younger as different characters. So by the time the issues like this rolled around, she actually was her own character.
Yeah.
Even the Wonder Woman got that mixed up. So Bob Haney goes, wait a second, it was just Wonder Woman. There's no identity. And so Brave and the Bold 60 comes along and they actually give her a name and everything. And that's the actual Wonder Girl that went on to be in New Teen Titans and so forth and so on. And then to be totally dissed when it came time for the animated feature. Yeah, but there you go. That's a little bit of comic book history, gang. All righty. Let's see. What are we getting? Just like Disney has set 10,000 years of the future, explained Genie being in the cave for 10,000 years, but knows all about Earth's post. Oh, yeah. The whole, that was the thing about Aladdin being in the future, not in the past. Yeah. All right, kids. Thanks for hanging out with us once again. Tomorrow is if she can get the group together.
If we can get the band together, we'll do it. If not,
usually it starts at 10 o'clock.
We'll try to start around 10-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what are you doing there, RDV?
Same thing that I do every week, Pinky. Try to take over the world. No.
Yes.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, we talk about comic books. Tuesdays, you're basically it's the top 5. Zach and I go over our poll list. So basically, the books that we're most hungry to read. What do we think would be the best books? So we go over that, show you what's coming out, and then Thursday's a follow-up. But Wednesday night, I'm flying solo, and I'll be reviewing Superman and Lois and The Flash.
Oh boy.
Alrighty. Yeah, I haven't caught up on Superman and Lois. It was so good though.
The last ones have been very emotional for what's going on the storyline.
No spoilers. I saw I think the first 4 episodes, maybe 5. I need to catch up.
I'm just saying that's really good writing. It's like, what the hell happened here? Like, this is like on a CW.
And by the way, I've also been reading new books, and I want to do for tomorrow. I may do this as soon as we get down off this here. I read 2 Archie horror books. One is Archie versus the World, and one is Betty the Final Girl. I read Captain America. What is this thing called? It's so incredibly bad, so fucking bad. It's called Captain America: Cold War. I read the new Justice Society, so I've got some books to read. I want to do one of those old-fashioned videos I used to make where I ranked them, and then DC gets points and so forth. I called it Marvel versus DC, but it really was all 3 of them. So you kids have a great time. I'm going to jump off and start doing that. And as always, thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good night.
Take care,
Later, people.
See you all later.